Hello, we are Koen Bartels and Victor Friedman, associate editors from the Action Research Journal, and we have written an editorial for the May issue, which is a themed issue focused on shining a light on the dark side of action research for transformations, or ART. In our current world beset by multiple sustainability crises, there's a strong focus on the bright side of ART in the sense of what it has to offer to generate transformations, how it works, and what it has achieved or can achieve. Yet we also know that it comes with lots of inherent challenges. It's a very complex and demanding process that can generate frustrations and conflicts with no guarantee for the desired impacts. So, Victor, what motivated you to focus on this issue?
Well, when you first mentioned the dark side at one of our editorial meetings, I resonated with that very strongly because in my experience that while I've been doing action research for about 40 years, and I think it's great, but still there are a lot of difficulties that we encounter along the way. And oftentimes authors tend not to talk about the difficulties, but only the successes. So in my own personal experience, for instance, many years ago, actually, I was doing an action research project from the Action Research Center at my college in Israel with a Palestinian NGO, and around developing youth and education, that sort of thing. And after 2 years, it didn't go anywhere. And luckily, we had kept pretty good transcripts, records, recordings of our meetings. And so we decided to sit down with our partners and see what went wrong. And when we looked at it frankly and talked to each other very frankly, I discovered that I had done things which I was unaware of, which I was shocked, and how I had done things which really prevented us from building the kind of relationship that I espouse. So it was very important for me, and I wrote about it, and I tried to learn from it. And I would like other action researchers to be able to sort of admit up to that kind of situation and do the same, feel comfortable doing that.
Right.
So what about you, Koen? What's your motivation?
So I've been doing research over the past years with several social innovations. So these are new ways of thinking, acting, and organizing that address unmet social needs, and in the process also try to transform underlying relationships, the way governance systems are organized. And this is a challenging process, both within the organizations or teams that are doing these things, but also externally with the people invested in the status quo. And in one case, these challenges became so overwhelming that the main catalyst of the innovation withdrew from the innovation, but also withdrew support for the research. And this led to a very prolonged, uncomfortable exchange around what had happened, and it took a long time to reestablish the relationship and reestablish consent for the research again. And this generated lots of feelings of anxiety and self-doubt on my side, which I know from exchanges with other action researchers is a very common experience. And I think sharing that and becoming more aware of the relational challenges and the ethical challenges involved with action research is very important.
So I see we really share a view about the importance of engaging those challenges. And I would like to say that, ARJ, the Action Research Journal, has a very rich tradition in publishing papers that look at these kinds of challenges as they actually occur and how they can be dealt with. So I think we're adding to that, but I think we're taking a step up. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that the challenges with this kind of self-critical reflexivity is that it also comes with identity costs, since you're becoming aware of the limitations of our presumed identity and working through conflicts between quite deeply held beliefs. That is a challenging thing to do during the action research, but also writing about it and trying to publish it. And I think the authors in this issue really do an excellent job in reflecting on how they found themselves between a rock and a hard place, and how they dealt with this.
Yep.
What would you say was a key insight for you from the issue, something that stood out for you?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the insights, and things we were somewhat aware of before, but really illustrating how it happens, is how oftentimes action researchers find themselves reinforcing some of the very inequalities, power dynamics that they are really trying to change, and becoming aware of that, and then trying to find out ways of working through that with their partners. And sometimes they're successful and sometimes not. But this experience can be extremely important for helping others be aware of it and learn from it, and each time get better at managing these issues. How about you, Koen? What would
Yeah, I think that's true, and having this awareness means that also we need to commit to a radical repositioning of the research, and not a repositioning of the co-researchers. So we need to invest in building trust and constantly reworking our plans in response to the views, desires, and culture of the co-researchers, rather than trying to fit them in with what we think should happen, or what institutional pressures we might be under. And there's a variety of interesting ways in which this is done by the contributors. So where do you think, Victor, this leaves us for going forward?
Well, I first of all think that it leaves us with an invitation to action researchers to more openly deal with the dark side. I'm always skeptical when I get papers that treat the relationship building process, participatory process, as if it just happens. And we're not doing this in order to discourage people from doing action research, but to the contrary, to really help people become more aware of the kinds of pitfalls that they may encounter, and to be better prepared for them, and not to be so afraid of them. Because I would say the other thing is that disasters don't occur necessarily, but even though when things get tough. So I'm really excited about this issue. I want to invite people to take a look at it and build this very important part of our field.
Totally agree. Thanks for the conversation, and thanks for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you and your thoughts and experiences around the dark side of action research.
Thanks to you too, Koen. Okay.